Hi, Chioma. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to today's live section. Hi, Mary Judith. How are you doing? Okay, so thank you and welcome, Mary Judith. Chioma, welcome as well. So we're going to give 7 minutes for others to join the live stream. So while we wait for others to join, if you have any questions, you can go ahead to ask. Um, let's see. Hi, good evening, Oba King. How are you? How was your Sunday? Hi, good evening, Wuti Wuti. Welcome. Woot, how you doing? Were you able to have a good night's sleep because of your career path choice? Hi, Imabong. Okay, so welcome everyone, and as always, excited to get to meet all of you again. So we will be waiting for others to join. So we're going to give them let's give them a grace of. Okay, wait, I promise. I promise. I promise not today. But trust me, you made a good choice yesterday, okay? So while we're waiting for them, let's just give them a grace of 5 minutes. So as we're waiting for them, I want to talk about. I'm fine, thank you, Imabom. I want to talk about what we'll be covering today. So today I would be covering um, IAM because in your assessments you've been in your projects, your final project, because today's assessment is the last assessment for you for this bootcamp, and next week you're starting your final project. Okay, so I will be introducing you to IAM and Cognito. So that is what I'll be doing today. And today as well, I would be showing you the AWS Educate. It is called AWS Educate. Yes, it's possible. It's possible, my love. It is 100% possible. Okay? 100% possible. So we will be doing we will be doing the AWS certification. So I will be showing the different AWS certification out there. So, and these certifications as well in the AWS Educate, there are there are provisions, educating provision parts that AWS have created for anyone that wants to learn AWS. So there are different learning style, life, personal space, and all of that. We're going to see that. So this, I'm going to show you where you can find this. And if you are willing and you want to acquire a certification, so you can start from the AWS certification depending on your career path. So I'm going to show you the various certification you can get as a beginner, okay? And based on your career path. So these are what we'll be covering today. And for those that were not here yesterday to choose their career path for their final project. I would also be dropping the link, but sorry, you can't change. So it's just a one-time link, so for one-time response. So if you've already done that yesterday, if I drop the link, there's no point for you to fill again today. So today is going to be not just me teaching you, but impactful for when you end this virtual boot camp. This is more like a foundation for you. Okay. So they said if the foundation of a house is solid, then the house will be able to stand. So I have given you, to me, I think I have given you a well enough solid foundation. So now it is left for you to build the house, the skyscraper. I think it was roots, the skyscraper you want to build. There's no problem taking baby steps. But where I will be angry at you is when you take baby steps and you decide to stop at baby steps. Okay? Yes, I took baby steps as well. Everyone started with a baby step, with crawling even, but don't stop there. Okay. Okay, so with this being said, we still have 3 minutes left. So if you have any questions regarding bootcamp, regarding your assessment, or regarding the certification, any question that you think it's something you need me to clarify, please feel free to ask in the comment section. So this is more like what you get for coming early to the boot camp. Okay. So please, any question you want to ask, feel free to ask. We have just 3 minutes left while we wait for others. Okay. You're welcome, Woods. So any questions while we wait for others? Any questions while we wait for others? If there's a question, please drop that in the comment section. I think it was Ajoke. I forgot, but I think it was Ajoke. I've forgotten. So is there any question? Please drop that in the comment section. And have you attempted your assessment that was given to you yesterday? Have you attempted your assessment that was given to you yesterday? Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'm better. I'm better. Thank you. Okay, so why we start the class? So I want to ask, okay, welcome everyone to the Cloud Foundation Boot Camp. This is, oh, sorry, I still go to week 6, section 1. Sorry, this is week 6, section 2, not 1. Okay. And what we'll be talking about today is identity and access management on AWS and AWS Cognito. Okay. So let's see what Wood says. Okay, it says Wood says I ran my course Explorer by Amazon Q. Okay, that's nice. And it says Secret Manager could be part of. Would you launched Secret Manager? What did you use Secret Manager for? Yes, Secret Manager, yes. If you launch a Secret Manager, a Secret Manager is more like you're telling AWS to manage your credentials, your ID, your password. So they will be charging you. But I don't know how it's been charged, if it's been charged monthly or it's been charged based on, I don't know how the charges are. So if you launch the Secret Manager, if Amazon Key is saying that you launched a Secret Manager, then you have to disable it. Okay. Go and disable it. You didn't. Okay, this is what you should do. Okay, this is what you should do. Amazon Q have said secret manager. By the end of the class, go to your AWS account. Okay, that's fine. Go to your AWS account. Try, maybe you might mistakenly have, we can never tell. Okay, so go to your AWS account where the search bar, type in secret manager, click on it. If you see that you have a secret manager enabled running, then disable it, delete it. Okay, but if there is nothing like that, just ignore and try to monitor your account. And there's a way you can see it as well. Instead of assuming, by the end of every month, AWS sends you your cost, like your monthly usage. Okay, so from your Explorer, you can see which service you used and which one cost you the most. So from that detail that they will send you, click on it, go through the services and see which one was that you actually have that charges. But in this particular case, you have to wait for the end of this month, the end of August, for you to get your monthly alerts, usage alerts. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, if you are joining us for the first time, welcome to the Cloud Foundation Bootcamp, and my name is Emanuela. I am the instructor for this bootcamp. This is an interactive learning. Please feel free to ask questions. Don't be shy. Okay. So the learning objective for today, we're going to understand what is digital ID. You're going to know what is authentication and authorization. Amazon Cognito. So when you leave this boot camp, I want you to understand what is Amazon Cognito, user pool and identity pool, AWS IAM Identity Center, single sign-on. Then we're going to compare between IAM and Cognito, and we're going to identify real-world cases. Okay, so Ruth, don't even interrupt my class. Okay. So what we've covered previously, which you never can tell, is possible. It's possible, yeah. It's very much possible. You never can tell. So what we've covered previously in this boot camp is number one, we've learned what is EC2. So everyone in this boot camp, I assume they know what is EC2 because we have covered EC2, we have covered Lambda. No, not assume. My participant, they know what is EC2. They know what is Lambda. They know what is RDS. They know what is DynamoDB. Bedrock, SageMaker was the ones we covered yesterday. Okay. So now today we'll be covering identity management and Cognito, AWS Cognito. When you log into your email address, they ask you for username and passwords. When you want to log into your TikTok account, you're being asked for username and password. Those are security measures that are in place, that are put in place by the platform so that not anybody can just have access to it. And security measures are there to protect you, the platform, your data, your content, so that not just anybody can have access to it. And so that if anyone gets to have access to a certain thing, or if anyone have access to a platform and they come to, as in they use a certain aspect or concept of that platform, it can be traced. So that is why that is why AWS Cognito is there. That is the function of AWS Cognito, to sign up, to log in, to reset your passwords and all of that. Okay, so that is one of the things we'll be covering today. So, what do you understand by identity? So, when someone says identity, what do you understand by identity? Can you put that in the comment section? Mary Judith, Roots, who else? Faith Possible, Imabon. What do you all understand by identity? Now I'm saying, what is identity? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Identity. Maybe Judy just said, who are you? That's very good. Yeah. Who else? Who else have a different opinion? Yes. But did say what comes to her mind when she hears of identity is who are you? Does anyone have a different opinion? Don't mind me, Judith. She has looked at my slides. Does anyone have a different opinion? So the Imam Bam says identity is all about who you are and what you are known for. Thank you. So you all got it. So when you have identity, who are you? Yes, all about your person. Yes. So when you have identity, who are you? All about your person, your username, your password, your login details. That is your identity. Okay, you all are right. Now, do you understand when I say authentication and authorization? What comes to your mind? When I say authenticate and authorize, what comes to your mind? Or when your boss tells you, go authenticate this document or go authorize this document, what comes to your mind? So put them like this, put them side by side. So when you put your answer by side by side, authenticate means this, authorize means this. So when you hear, she just authorized this, she just authenticates this. So authentication is to verify. So Imam says, authentication is to verify that you are who you say you are. Okay. And what of authorized? What about authorization? So what about verification and permission? Yes. Yes. Verification and permission. So verification and permission. And authorization is giving the authority to carry out a task. Yes. And it says authenticate is verifying who you are. Authorization is verifying what you can do and the actions you can take. Perfect. You all are right. Yes. So that is what it is. Okay. So authentication is who you are. Examples, you can authenticate and identify who you are to a platform through what? Your username and your password. That is how you authenticate. Am I right or wrong? Through your password, through your multiple authentication factor. Before you log into your AWS account, even if you've put in your username and password, they still tell you verify who you are, right? And you have to do that using multiple authentication factor. Okay. And now when you successfully authenticate, now you have to prove what you're allowed to do, right? What you're allowed to do. Okay. So if you have an access to root says permission, the permission, what are you allowed to do? So you all have a free tier account currently. You know, with your free tier account, you're not allowed to use certain services to your upgrade. And now the example is the encounter you all had with RDS query editor. That is a permission restriction. Okay. What are you allowed to do? So because in AWS, free tier accounts are not permitted to use query editor, you have to upgrade or you have to use the SSH. which a lot of you were able to brainstorm and use SSH to query. Okay, you all are right. So now let's move forward. So now, what is Amazon Cognito? Before this class, have you heard of Amazon Cognito? Where is before this class, have you heard of the word Amazon Cognito? Where is Oba King? Oba King, yeah, yeah, yesterday you said you did AWS before now. So in your previous AWS, did you hear the word Amazon Cognito? Or have any of you read and done a research and you came across Amazon Cognito? Okay, so Mary Judith said no. Any other person? Any other person? Have you heard the word Amazon Cognito before now? Yes. So, okay, what is this girl? Imabon, what did Adaku do to you? Why are you looking for her? Okay, so Shoma said no. Okay, Wood said yes. I think Woods, can you tell us what is Amazon Cognito? From your research that you did, what do you understand by Cognito? What do you understand by Cognito? So I got a lot of no's, no's. So what is Amazon Cognito? Amazon Cognito is an AWS service. Okay, it's an AWS service, an AWS service that help application users, that helps application owner to create a security platform where you and I would be able to sign up, sign in, authenticate, and authorize. Okay, it can authenticate users. Okay, it can give authorization as well. So that is why Amazon Cognito was created. Okay, that is what the function is all about. So if you have a project where your manager is saying, okay, fine, this is a very awesome project you've done, but we need to add security. Not just anybody needs to have access to our platform. The first service that should come to your mind is Amazon Cognito. Because with Amazon Cognito, your user can sign up, they can authenticate, they can authorize what they're allowed to do. Okay? So that is the function, that is the build, that is the asset, that is the use case of Amazon Cognito. So let's see what King of Amazon Cognito is an AWS service that allows you to sign in or sign up with website or application according to, yes, that is what it is, love. Yes. Okay, that's nice. Okay, that's very good. Okay, and Wuti says, like a security guard that's like a security guard at the start of an application. Yes, that's exactly. In any architecture, you always see Amazon Cognito at the front layer of the application because it's like the security man there. It sits there. So before you and I will have access into TikTok, we have to sign in. Into YouTube, we have to sign in. That is the first security layer for every application. So when you talk of application, okay, we have what is called the front end, the back end, the business logic, and we have the database logic. Okay, so the front end, when we talk of the front end, we're talking about like the websites you can see, the user interface you can see, all those are the front end. Okay, the login you can see on your browser, that is the front end security. That is the first security measure for any application before the person have the permission to go into the application and start using the resources available in that platform. Okay, thank you. Okay, that is what an Amazon Cognito is. Okay, So now, what problem does Amazon Cognito solve? Like we've already said, it solves the problem of logging in once you're building an application or your boss or you're in a team that is building a project, and then they say, "Oh, we've done an amazing project, but we need to secure our logins." And you're using AWS, just think of Amazon Cognito. It provides you that service. Okay. Registration system, password reset, multiple authentication factor, secure user credentials. This is the service that should come to your mind first. Okay. Now, Cognito user pool. What is a Cognito user pool? So think of a Cognito user pool as the database of the application. So now when you and I, we go to YouTube, for instance, and we'll register and store our details needs to be stored in a database, right? So that database is where the systems get to retrieve our login information when we want to log in again to verify if we are truly, if we truly have the access for that platform. So Amazon Cognito pool is the database of the application. Okay, it is the database of the application. That is where you and I, our user logins are stored and retrieved where we want to log in again. Okay. Amazon Cognito use as the first stage for every application or website to verify user. Yes, that is what it is. Okay. So now when you're going to see Amazon pool, it is the database of the platform, the application. Okay. I'm going to show you that. I'm not going to deploy anything, but I'm going to show you in your console. You'll see the user pool. So once you see the user pool, just know this is talking about the database of the application users. Okay. Is that understood? So now remember, I think it was Root that says it is the front security man. I think it was Roots. Yeah, I think it was Root that said that. So this is how it looks. So now this is an example. You and I were the users. Before we have access to any platform, we have to first pass Cognito security verification. We have to first pass Cognito security verification before going into any platform. If we don't have access, there is also an option for what? Sign up, which is also Cognito function. You're going to see sign up or log in. So sign up when you're just a new user. Log in if you already have the verification, the credentials. Okay. Then once you successfully log in, then you can go to the platform and perform your activities and carry out whatever activity you want to carry out. So that is the function of Cognito identity pool. Okay. So this is more like a social login for if you want to log in for Amazon, for YouTube, for TikTok, and all of that. If these platforms are using AWS, it is Cognito that runs the login verification function in that application. Okay, Cognito is the only service AWS have for this particular function. Okay, that is the use case. That is the reason why AWS built it in the first place. Hope it's understood. So now, when you go into your console, Cognito Futures, we have the user registration, which is where you have to register and sign up as a user if you're new in an application. It gives you that, it gives you that particular function. Then we have the login. If you're already a user, if you already previously signed up, you can log in the platform. It gives you the function for what? Password reset also. Cognito helps company to also create the password reset features. Okay. Then social sign in, user directory, access token, integration with different services. So now, when I say integration with different services, it means Cognito can be integrated with different services. And I'm going to show you some other services in the future later in this class. So now, what is Cognito? We've already identified it is an AWS identity and verification service, right? So when I say it can be integrated to any service, so imagine I built my application with any other um, tool that is not AWS, and I decide to say I want to use AWS Cognito as my login service. I can do that and integrate AWS Cognito with my login service. Okay, I must not use AWS platform, all AWS services to build my platform before I can adopt and use Cognito. No, even if I used Microsoft Word Azure or Google GCP or Oracle or any other cloud provider to build my application. But I decide that for the login functions, login and sign up and identity verification, I want to use AWS Cognito. I can integrate that into my what's it called, my project. Okay, is that understood? Is that understood? So now, what is an IAM identity center? Can you tell me in the comment section, what is an IAM identity center? What is an IAM identity center? Thank you, Jerry. What is an IAM identity center? So when you hear or now you're seeing IAM identity center on your screen, what comes to mind? What comes to your mind? I know we discussed IAM Identity Center briefly at the initial stage of this bootcamp, but not in detail as we're going to do today. But when you hear it, what comes to your mind? And funny enough, you all have used IAM Identity Center in your project. In the first project I gave you, you used it. And even subsequently, some people had to tell me they didn't have access to certain their IAM account, didn't have access to certain services. I referred you to IAM your IAM user what's it called, user service. So can you tell me what is an IAM identity center? And all of the accounts you're currently using is an IAM account. Am I right? What all of the accounts you're using for your assessment is you're using your IAM user account. So let's see what Sophia said. I think it is an IAM user account we use to access our AWS console. Yes, that is what you all have been using. Yes, yes, that is what. So what is it? It says user and access management. Yes. Where is Ajoke? She was the one that asked this question yesterday. So what is an IAM identity center? So it's all about access. Who have access for what? Yes. So when you have IAM Identity Center, it's all about access. Who have access for what? What access permission do they have? AWS have what is called the least privilege. So if I am a developer, the best practice, the best AWS best practice says give a developer the least privilege access that I need to carry out my functions, to do my job. Don't give me access to everything in your platform, your AWS platform. No. Give me as much access as I need as a developer to carry out my functionalities, to carry out my role. Okay? That is what it is. So an IAM Identity Center provides centralized access management for workflows for user across AWS accounts and applications. Okay? And it gives user single sign-on experience. Okay? So like I think it was Yeah. Like Obaking said, it allows you to have access. Who is to have which access for what reason based on their functions. Okay, that is what an IAM identity center is all about. Okay, so now what is single sign on? Single sign on simply means log in once and access that permission that you've been given. Single sign, let me think of which there's a particular platform I know recently they used to have this username and password kind of sign on. Username and password regular sign on verification is not a single sign on. Okay, a single sign on, I've forgotten that platform. I think they just recently did it. What is a single sign on? A single sign on doesn't require you to have a password. A single sign on is when you want to log into that platform generates just that password you need to access that platform as at that time. And once you log out, that password expires. When you want to log in again, all you need to do is to click on the single sign on button. It gives you access. That is what a single sign on is. So Ajoke, yeah, let's see what she says. It said it provides user with a single secure entry point. Yes. To log into access multiple, yeah. It mustn't be AWS account. Now I'm generalizing it. Okay. So a single sign-on gives you a secure entry point into any platform that uses a single sign-on. So if let's say for instance, if YouTube is using a single sign-on verification pattern, so you don't need a password. What it does is when you go to YouTube, you're going to click on the single sign on. My company use single sign on. So we click on the single sign on and then it gives us the access we need to verify and do whatever we want to do on that platform. And once you log out, you want to log in again, you click on the single sign on again. So that is what a single sign on is. Okay. Is that understood? Is that understood? Okay. So let's move on. So examples of single sign-on, yeah, Microsoft Word, yes, I remember. That is what I was thinking of. Microsoft Word 365, we use it at the office. It uses a single sign-on. Microsoft Word 365 uses a single sign-on. Internal applications, yes, uses a single sign-on. Okay. Salesforce uses a single sign-on. So these are single sign-on, meaning you don't need to store or create your own password. The system generates it for you. Okay. Is there any question? Is there any question? If you have a question, put them in the comment section. Okay. We're going a little bit fast because we need our certification. Okay. Yeah, Otta. I don't know if Otta Adako. And Adako, welcome. Welcome, Adako. But for Alta, I don't know about Alta if they use a single sign-on. Yeah, but a lot of platforms are adopting single sign-on right now. Okay. What's a single sign-on? A user gets to sign in every time. Yes, that is what a single sign-on is. So now, simple identity, IAM identity center example. Okay, imagine, let's say, you are there's something called I don't know the normal role name. I think it could be more like let's say you could be the cloud account manager. So imagine you're the cloud account manager for your organization, and now your organization have 20 AWS accounts. Okay, 20 AWS accounts, and you have 20 AWS accounts, 20 AWS accounts, and you have 200 employers. Okay. Without an AWS identity center, you won't be able to manage them. Okay, without an AWS identity center, it will be difficult to manage. And without an AWS identity center, you might give the wrong access to someone that doesn't need it. So imagine I am new in an organization and I don't even know a thing about the project you're working on, and you give me access to your your production platform. And I'm new, I am a junior. I'm not even an expert, I am a junior. Let's say a junior software. I can go to the production platform and just why I think I'm doing my functions, and because I don't have that much experience and I don't know much about the project, I can just click spoil and everything, your platform will just go blank. Okay, so you see why identity, that is one of the best and the benefit of using identity manager. So this allows you to give permission to who it needs it and restrict access. In AWS, Ajoke and Root, I don't even understand you two. I swear, I don't even understand Ajoke and Root. I don't understand you two at all. So, and now you give permission to who needs that permission. Okay. So, IAM Identity Center helps you to manage your IAM account, restrict access, give least privilege. So, all of these things is what IAM Identity Center does. Okay. So now identity center features. So identity center, you can assign a single sign-on to staffs, okay? Single sign-on to staffs, centralized user management, group based on access. So when I say group based on access, like you can group, if I am a developer, Ajoke is a developer, Root is a developer, Adaku is a developer, Imabom is a developer. We're how many now? We're five, I think. So you can group all of us, you can group all your developers into one group and give us one access. So now, if your developers need access to your CI/CD pipeline, access to S3, AWS S3, access to your AWS Lambda, these are because these are the only access we need to carry out our functions. That is the only permission you're going to give us. Now you're not just giving Emanuela, you take this access, Adaku take this access, Woods take this access. No, you're grouping us. So it's more like you have a folder, okay? You're putting all of us in that folder and saying, anyone that have access to this folder, this is the permission that you have. Okay, so that is what grouping is. So it's grouping your employers or putting them in a group helps you to manage your AWS accounts. Okay, now application access. So identity center gives you application access, permission for who to have what access and when. Okay, all of you in this comment section. Okay, so identity resources. What is an identity resources? So like I said before, remember I said identity resources can integrate with different platforms. So IAM Identity Center can connect to Microsoft Word. When you say Microsoft Word Entra ID, this is a Microsoft Word Azure Cloud Cognito service that is more like the AWS Identity Center. Okay, who is disturbing this class? No, who is disturbing this class? So now, okay, yeah, I think Adaku said Alter, yes. So you can see Alter here. So now Identity Center can be integrated with Alter. It can integrated with internal platforms that different organizations have. Okay, it can integrate and help you manage them. Okay. So now the big difference between, you can tell me in the comment section, just all of you, you are just giving yourself class rep and who is not class rep. Now you guys should tell me what's the difference between Cognito and Identity Center in the comment section, please. All of you. Cognito and identity center. What is the difference between cognito and what is the difference between identity center? What is the difference between the two? Put them like this. Cognito does this, identity center does this. What is the difference between cognito and identity center? I'm waiting for all of you. I'm waiting for all of you. What is the difference between cognito and identity center? So Imabom says cognito is for users access, while identity center is for employers. And yes, that is true. You know why I took your answer? Because you see, when I saw the employees, I was a little bit skeptical. But when you added administrator access, that is what it is. Okay, administrator access. Okay, employees and administrator access. That is perfect. That is a perfect answer. That is what identity center is. Okay. So that is the difference between the both of them. Does any other person have a different explanation? Does any other person have a different explanation? The difference between cognito and identity center. Cognito manage the users of the application, while IAM manage people who need access to AWS services. Now, the thing is, IAM doesn't just manage people alone. It gives like who said Imabon said administrative access, not just users roles. So now, can you remember that before you were able to access your your budget, before you can able to actually give yours or to schedule your budget, your AWS budget in your IAM role, you went on to your root account to give administrative access to your IAM account. And where did you do that? You did that from IAM. Okay, so IAM doesn't just manage people alone. It gives administrative access. Yes, accounts. Yes, love. Not just users. Because during your project, there are some assets or some services that might need a different access that you don't currently have. How are you going to get those access? You will have to go to your IAM rule and enable those access. Okay, so let's see what Chema said. Chema said, Cognito manage our login, then IAM manage our identity. Elizabeth. So Cognito example, Netflix users, while IAM example, AWS administrator. Okay, so that is what it is. Cognito is for login, authentication, authorization. Why IAM? I really like how who put it. Who is that person? I really like how she puts it. I've forgotten. Is it Imabon? Let's see. Yes, I really like how Imabon put it. Why for identity center? Identity center manage employers, employees, staffs, people, and it manage administrative access. Okay, not just for people only. Administrative access, like Wood says, accounts. So if Lambda, I think there's this assessment I gave you. Yeah, if Lambda needs access to SNS, yeah, there was this assessment I gave you. Lambda needed access to SNS. You are going to grant that access from your identity center, which is your IA. You're going to give Lambda access to any service that Lambda needs to work with, to interact with through your IAM role. Okay, so identity center is not just for people, for administrative purposes, to give access to accounts for them to what? Interact and communicate and work together. Okay, so let's move on. Thank you, everyone. You guys did well. I thought you were all there playing in that comment section and you were not listening. So now let's move on. So let's switch to hands-on. So for this hands-on, I will quickly show you what the features. I've already explained all of the features, so you just know where to click and all of that. I'm not setting up anything because after this, immediately we're going to switch to our certification center. Okay, that certification, I want to give you guys the time to ask all the questions you need. Okay, so I will switch now. Okay, what's happening? Remove and add. Okay, so now see, this is your what's it called, your AWS. Okay, so I'm going to start with IAM. Now let's say I want to use RODS, for instance, and I want to work with RODS, and I want to also work with Lambda. Okay, so for I want to connect RODS to Lambda because Lambda in this case, let me assume Lambda in this case is my back end where my application will be running. That is my compute I want to use for my projects. Okay, and now RODS is the service that I want to use for my what DNS, for my domain name. Okay, now for them to be able to work together, they have to what? Communicate. They have to have access to communicate together. And where am I going to give that function? I would come here. It's either, if you don't have it pinned here, it's fine. As usual, you go to your chat, your search bar, you type in IAM. Okay. When you type in IAM, you're seeing IAM Identity Center. Okay. You click on it. Now, this is your IAM Identity Center. Okay. Now, which IAM, what identity center do you want to allocate? Okay. Confirm identity center resources, set up for applications. This is where for different application. Register an account. This is where, let's say you have a new developer or a new solution architect that just came into the company, and you are the company AWS cloud manager, okay, or administrative personnel. Now it is your duty to register an account for me, and that this account you'll be registering for me, it must have a least privilege permission. Okay, I don't need to have access to all the company's AWS services. No, that is high risk. That is really high risk. I only need the permission that I need to carry out my role and my functions. Okay, so this is where you create that. You are going to create the account for me and give me the sign-in credentials. It is your responsibility. So for all of you, for the job aspect as well, if you know you want to be an administrator, you can do this. This is one of the parts as well. There's something called cloud administrator, something like that. You are in charge of managing the company's AWS or cloud platform. Okay, so you're going to assign to anyone the access, the identity, what they need to carry out their functionality, ensuring you are assigning, giving least privilege. Okay, so this is where you're going to click on this and you create the account for me or for anyone that needs that access. Okay, so now you can see users here. For you to monitor and know the users, this is the users that I have. If I have more users in here, you're going to see those users in here. Okay, for the groups, I don't have any group in this account. If I have groups, like let me say I have development group, I have engineering group, I have solution architect group, or I have group for project managers, this is where you're going to see it. And if you want to create your groups, all you need to do is to click here, create your groups, put in the group's name and all of that, and then assign the permission that the group would need. Anyone coming to this group this is the permission you automatically have. Okay, and then you create your group. It's as easy as that. Okay, now settings, for setting, the setting you are going to have is the setting of the AWS account for your organization. Okay, now this is the one for my own account. And for authentication, this is where you assign and create your authentication for different permission you want to give to who and for what reasons. Okay, that is all you need to know about the identity center. So now, for your identity center, the two things that you need to know is how to create and assign to users. If you want to add users, you create here. The next thing you need to know is how to create groups. Okay, how to create groups. And now, if your company have 20 or more, let's say your company have a lot of AWS accounts, you manage them using your AWS organization. This is where you manage your AWS organization. Okay, so you can see Sandbox. Sandbox is my testing environment, because when you're building an application, you don't just go and you publish the application in your production environment. No, you have to set up a small testing environment where you build, you test, you till it is up to the standard you want before you put it out there. Okay, that's what Sandbox is all about. So in my own organization, I only have my root account, my Sandbox, my security account, and me. So if you're working as an administrator, this is where you see all your organization accounts, and this is where you get to manage it. You manage them using the AWS organization. Okay. Is there any question? Do you have any question? Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't sharing that aspect for you guys. Let me go back and share. Ajoke says, please, how did you pin? Okay, Ajoke, this is how I pinned it. This is how I pinned it. Let me show you how I pinned. Okay, so now when you come here, okay, let's say I want to search for pricing. So AWS have what is called the AWS billing pricing conductor. Okay, so let's say I want to pin this. No, I already pinned this. So you see the star over here. Ajoke, can you see it? You just click on this star. But I already pinned this one. So let me go and check for another one I haven't. Let's see. There's something called cloud fonts. Cloud fonts. Cloud formation, yes. Cloud formation is an AWS infrastructure as code. Okay, I introduced you guys to infrastructure as code yesterday, but I talked about Terraform, but the one for AWS is called the Cloud Fonts. Okay, so let's say I want to pin my AWS Cloud Fonts. Ajoke, can you see it? You just click on this star over here. Once I click on it, it is pinned, so you can see the Cloud Font here. Okay, if you want to remove them, you just on click, you click again to undo the star, and that is how you click. Okay, is that understood, Ajoke? Did you see that? Then now the next question says, when you search it, you will see the star. Okay, she explained that to you. So Imagom has explained to you as well. So now let's go to Cognito. So Cognito, okay, now I want to show you one more thing. So AWS IAM, I'm going to show you how you can assign IAM to different services, okay? Remember the one I showed you before is Identity Manager. Now let's go to IAM, okay? Now you click on your IAM. So now let's say Lambda needs, Route 53 needs access to Lambda for them to be able to work and interact together, okay? So you're going to come here. Okay, now we're going to go to Lambda, and Oh, I don't have a Lambda installed. Can I just create one? Let me see. Since Lambda is free tier, let's just do something. I don't think Lambda is free tier. So because I don't have money in this account right now. So since Lambda is serverless, let's see if we can quickly do something. Okay, so let's see. I don't need anything now. I just want to show. Okay, so successful. Now, if I want to give Lambda access to, I would Route 53 access to Lambda and Lambda access to Route 53 so that they can work together because they need to communicate in this project. What I would do is to come here. You see where you see configuration, then you're going to come here. So even if it's not Lambda, even if it's a EC2, look for where you have the permission feature. Click on it. Now, this permission feature, you can see where it says add permission. You can decide to add from here, but let's add from here. Let's add from the existing one that we have. So you click on it. So currently the permission that we have is the CloudWatch only. So I can decide to add other permission. And how do I do that? You click here where it says edit. Description, no, we don't need any description. So you see all of these things here. These are different permission that I have created initially. Okay, these are different permission I have created. You can see Lambda, deploy, yada, yada, and solo. So now I could just look for, let's say, RDS. No, let's say route 53. So I don't have any permission I have personally created for route 53. So let's do create new permission. Okay. No, I don't want to. Okay, there are two ways to create permission. You can do this. Let me show you. This is called policy. Okay, you can create a personal policy like this, but that is not the one I want to show you. And please don't do this one. I don't want you to break your heads. We're going to add permissions like this. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We're going to look for um, routes. Uh, this will have about 53 permission. We have lambda and we don't have about 53 over here. All of these are permission, different permissions. AWS will, we have permission for Cognito, we have permission for EC2. So I have never done permission for Route 53, and that is why you're not seeing it here. But if you've done previous permission, you can do it from here. But since we've never done permission for Route 53, let's just create a new one. So create a new role. What policy does it have? No, you come here, you just search routes. So you can see Route 53 over here. Okay, I'll just click on Route 53. And now what permission do I want to give? You can see access level. What access level do I want Route 53 and Lambda to have? So I can do get changes or I can do all. There's a permission for all. See, so access, get account limit and all of that. So you are going to know the permission you want them to have. Like I said, there's something called least privilege. And the reason is because for security reasons. Okay. So let's say I want them to have create key specification. I want them to have this permission as well. I want them to have this permission as well. Once I finish clicking, I will just come here and save. Okay. So once you save, it will update your permission. Okay. Now Lambda and RDS have a new permission added to them. Okay, that is how to add permission to any service. You just need to locate the configuration and the permission site. Is that understood? And now this new permission I have created, it's going to be saved in my own personal permission box. So subsequently in the future, if I still want to use RDS and Lambda permission, I can just go there and click on them. Is that understood? Is that understood? Any other question? So that is how to work with RDS. Okay. So let me quickly show you to Cognito. So Cognito, you just go here and you click Cognito. Okay. So you just click on Cognito. So now, remember I introduced you to the user pool. This is the user database, okay? If you want to create your Cognito, you go over here and you create your Cognito, okay? So now, for traditional websites, which is for normal websites, you click on this. For single page application, let's say you want your sign on to be on a particular, just a particular page, you click on this. If you want your sign on to be mobile app, that is what you're creating, you choose the mobile app. Is for machine to machine application, choose your preference. Okay, that is what it is. Then you come over here, you put in a unique global name, okay, for what you want. Now for options for sign on, when they say options for sign on, do you want them to sign in using email address or phone number or username? A lot of platform use both. A lot if you go to a lot of platform, they will tell you you can sign in using username or email, right? So you can decide to click all or you can decide to click two. You can see enable self-registration. When you click on enable self-registration, it means the user will have to register themselves if they don't have access to the platform. Okay, that is what it is. Then if you have a URL, let's say now, remember I said Cognito can be integrated with different platforms, even if your platform is not on AWS, right? So let's say my platform is on Azure. I will just copy my URL and I'll paste it here. Okay. And then it will integrate into it. Then what I will do, I will click on create. Okay. That is how easy it is. Then now let's go to any questions before user identity. Why I'm showing user here, leave. Any questions? Do you have any question? Okay, so this is user identity. Okay, for the user identity, now you get to choose the authentication access that you want them to have. So do you want this person to access this platform as guests? You can do that if you want them to access the platform as guests. You know, there's some platform they will tell you you can access as guests. You don't need to register, but you're limited to what you can do with that platform. So if you want that for your platform, you can go ahead and create guest access. Okay. If you don't want that, you want them to access, let's say, using a normal sign up or sign in, you choose. Okay. Now it's going to ask you which identity would you want to use it for? Are you using it for Facebook? Are you using it for Apple? Are you using it for Amazon? You are going to click what you're using it for. If you're not using it for any of this, if it's not for Apple, is not for Twitter, is not for any of this, you're going to click customize developer provider. That means you are using it for your own platform. Okay. And when you click on this, then you click on next. Okay. Any questions? No. Okay. So that is the two features you need to know when using Cognito. User pool and identity pool. Can you tell me in the comment section from what we discussed earlier, what is user pool and what is identity pool? I told you about it initially. What is Cognito user pool and what is Cognito identity pool? What is Cognito user pool and what is Cognito identity pool? I'm waiting. Can you tell me in the comment section? What configuration are you adding or are you configuring using user pool, and what configuration are you actually carrying out using identity pool? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, so that is all we need for Cognito. So while I'm waiting for you to respond, I'm going to switch back to AWS certification now. So, but I'm waiting for your questions. I'm waiting for your response. Okay. So now let me switch to AWS certification. So, what is Cognito pool, user pool, and what is Cognito identity pool? You guys should respond. Okay. So, I'm going to switch to certification. Okay. Mm, certification. Just, I'm seeing your response. Just typing your response. Let me quickly switch. I would. Um, it should be this one. Yes, it's this one. Yeah, yeah, I think it's this one. Okay, so I have Oba King says user pool it equals to authentication, identity pool equals to author. Yes, yes. So where you need to I can't switch again. I would have shown you now. So when in your user pool, the configuration that you're going to be giving there is for authentication. Okay, that is the configuration you'll be doing there. Okay, now for your permission, where what platform the permission is applicable to, that is going to be done in your identity pool. Okay, so please take note of that. Don't get confused. Okay, no problem. No problem, Akiola. You can go back to watch, rewatch, okay? Okay, now, this is, please, this particular one, you all should pay attention. So, Favor says user pool is configured for authorization and identity pool is for authentication and identity pool is for authorization. Yes, that is what it is. Okay, I want you guys to know that part. Okay, so now this is the AWS Certification Center. So how can you find it? So let me go back so and show you how you can find it. Okay, so you can go through Google and type AWS certification. I can't go back from here. Okay, you can go through Google and type AWS certification, and it's going to bring the platform for you. Let's see. Now these are different certification that we have. Okay, you can see exam prep. AWS have an exam prep for your certifications. This one is for solution architect associate as solution architect associate. So please don't go for this one right now. This is for high level. Okay, you can see it says advanced. These are not the ones you should do right now if you're willing to go for the certification. Okay, you're going to go for this ones. I'm going to show you. The ones that you see subscribe, it means for you to gain more access to the material you have to subscribe, but they are free ones. Okay, and the free one is what I want to show you. Okay, these ones are just taking us to professional. So when you're looking at, look at something that says foundation. Okay, foundation. Like now, if you're interested in learning more about the AWS Internet of Things, you can click this one and you start learning about it. Okay, so but let's go through the roles. Now, these are different roles available. If you want to be a business user, if you want to be a cloud operator, you want to be a business development analyst, you want to be an architect, which is the one I am, you want to be an application architect, you want to be a sales manager, there are different roles. What's it called? Cloud gives you, with cloud knowledge, you have opportunity to work in different sectors, different roles. If you're good in sales, you can even do sales consultant. Okay, you can even do sales consultants. Okay, so now let's say sales consultant, for instance, and now you want to learn more. Okay, you can see this course was developed by a member of AWS technical field community. Okay, this all of these are courses. All of these are courses. So now this particular one we click on is a course for someone that wants to be a pre-sales consultant. So what you do, you click on it. So now when you click on it, this is a course on its own. Okay. How do you start learning? You click on enroll. So once you click on enroll, you go to training. Okay. So when you click on go to training, you can see I've never done this pre-sales training before. You can see new. Okay. You can just come here and say view next. If you pass this training, you're going to get a certification as well, more like a badge. Please do these trainings. You can take the badge and you can put them on your LinkedIn. Okay. They are going to give you exam at the end of the training. So now you can see these are what they are going to cover in this training. This particular training is for pre-sales consultants. Okay. They are training for DevOps. I'm going to go back to show you. Oh God, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the screen with you guys. Can you guys see the screen? No, you're still here. Let me share that particular screen with you. Okay. I see you're not seeing the screen. Can you see my screen? We are still here. No. So it brought us to this place. So let me share this screen. I don't know. I can't share more than one screen. Let's try and see. Saying stop. I can't share more than one screen. So let's just stop and share this other screen then. Share. And I think it's this one. So this one. Is this one. So once you click on that place that I showed you, it's going to bring you here. Okay. And now this is the model. Is that all what you're going to learn from here? To get started, you're going to click view and next. Okay, view and next. And new. So let's just start with model 1. So you can see this is the learning plan. Okay. Now this particular training is meant for pre-sale consultants. It's going to teach you all you need to know as a pre-sale consult to be a pre-sale consultant for AWS. If you want video, you can play the video. This, I think this particular one is video because it's showing video over here. Yes. So you can, if you know you're someone that likes learning, watching.
Looks like things are really moving forward in our coffee shop. Though we had a few eager customers go full steam ahead and yell their orders
This
at
guy
the
is very
baristas.
funny, but I love his teaching.
Tisk. They should be
Okay,
politely
so
asking
now
the
they
cashiers
teach you
instead.
with real world
This does bring up an
examples.
interesting point, however.
When I mean
It
real
just
world
doesn't make
example, I
sense
love
to allow
AWS for
every
this.
customer.
Okay, they teach you with real world examples. Real world examples. Okay, AWS teaches you with real world examples. Yes, sorry. Okay, it teaches you with real world examples, so you can learn from this. It's a video.
Customer to position a logically isolated section of the AWS cloud. In this virtual network, you can launch whatever resources you decide on. More importantly, these resources can be public or private. Public-facing resources have access to the internet, whereas private resources do not have internet access. This is perfect for our coffee shop. We can make our cashiers publicly accessible so they can interact with our customers to take their order and process payments. We can then prevent our customers from
Okay,
interacting
so these
directly
are
with
things that you
baristas
can
by
learn,
making them
a
private
lot of them.
resources.
Okay, so once you finish learning this, there's an exam. Okay, let me go to the summary. So you see something here, it says assessment. Okay, okay, I think I did this assessment one time and I passed, but don't mind me. If you don't pass, you can retake it. Okay, so this is an assessment. Okay, so I did this assessment very long time ago, so this was my score as at then. So you can see a conclusion here. If you pass the assessments, I have a badge for this. It gives you a badge for this. Okay, you can put that badge on your LinkedIn and show that you've passed this. No jokes, those badges, they go a long way. Okay, so now let me take you back to, let me stop sharing this one and take you back to, this other one. No, Mary Jane, is not like more to learn. Don't see it that way. See, even I, 8 years, cloud, I still learn. You know why? Learning is not just for my company's good only, it's for my own personal growth. The day I don't have knowledge to share, the day I can't respond in a meeting, then I'm not relevant to my company. Okay? And AWS, not just AWS, even you and I, we keep looking for good and better ways to make things better, isn't it? That is what upgrade is all about. Upgrading the platform, redefining the platform, how things used to be before. That is why we need to learn. It's just like introducing a new service or a new way of using that service. And you and I, we don't learn about it. And how do we get to use the new service? So learning is never a thing that stops. No. Okay. So that is what the one for pre-sales that I just showed you. Okay. So let me try to go back and show you. There are different ones for, okay, now let's say you are looking to be an architect, solution architect. Where's my Ruti? My Ruti, you can come here, you want to be a solution architect. You can see it's a solution architect. It has labs. When I mean labs, real labs, once you click on this, I don't want to go out of this page again, so I don't keep going for the back. Once you click on this, it starts teaching you real labs. Okay, so these are the things that you can learn. If you want to be a machine learning engineer, it has another one. This is for machine learning engineers. Okay, let me unclick this one so I can see. This is for machine learning engineers. If you want to be a machine learning engineer, these are real projects, real lab, real projects you can do. These projects can make you get a job. If you want to be a trainer, if let's say you want to be an AWS trainer, you can go ahead to do this. I am also a technical writer. Okay, I teach people how to better understand applications. So it is called developers relation or developers advocate. So I do that also for companies. What does that? What is my role? I love writing. I love reading. I love understanding things and breaking them down. Okay, that is what company hire me to do on the side, aside from my 8 to 9. Okay, I started writing as a technical writer, and before I know, they started reaching out to me on my platform. You can go to Hackanon and read on my articles. Okay, I'm like the top writer on Hackanon. So I break things step by step on how developers can code, how they can use AWS, and all of this. So if you're a technical writer, you can come here, and I think this one is for trainer. I think technical writer, yeah, and trainer can do this one. If you're good, I think it was Ajoke that says DevOps. For DevOps engineer, you can come here. You learn about being a DevOps engineer. Okay. If you want to be an administrator, database administrator, there's others for you. So the name of the site is called Skill Builder. I'm going to copy and paste now. Okay. I will paste now in the comment section. So that is the name of the site, okay? It is called Skill Builder. Why is not pasting? Okay, okay. So this is called Skill Builder. Okay, you go to Skill Builder, it's on the command section. So you go to Skill Builder, look for your role, and you practice on it. You carry out labs, projects. You're going to get badges. You post your badges on your LinkedIn. Okay. Now let's go to the certification area. Now for certification, um, you click here. Oh, it has gone off again. So let me go back to. I have to remove this one and take it to certification. What's this? This one or this one? I think it should be this one. Yes, so this is for certification. Okay, so this is for AWS certification. Okay, so for AWS certification, you go to this. I will copy and paste now for you as well. Okay, so you go to the certification site. The link is in the comment section. Yes, it's really fun. It's really fun. So the certification you're going to get as a beginner, and I would advise you, is AWS practitioner. Okay. Sorry guys, AWS practitioner certification. Okay. So now, if you really like learning, not just like learning, if you're hunger to actually take this career path seriously, to land a job, even if you're a student, my first tech job, I landed it before I got into university. No jokes. It wasn't it wasn't a solution architect job. It was a tech job. Like I just finished learning to be a software engineer on IALT as a then, and immediately I finished, I went for internship and I got a job as a trainer. Back then, technology was not the way it was now. I was very small even before I got into school. Why am I saying this? Don't tell me that you're in school as an excuse. No. You can do internships, you can do volunteering. All of this helps you to build your skills and not to forget what you've learned. So that even if you feel you're in school, you're not ready for a job now, but this keeps your brain afresh, keeps you still in the loop and still doing projects. So that when you're ready to go into any career path that you want formally, you know your brain is not asleep, you know you're still active. Okay? So please just try to take it seriously. Don't use being in school as an excuse. No, you can be in school and do volunteering projects. I'm going to give you sites for to find volunteering opportunities. That should be at the end of your final project. Okay, these people is a volunteering jobs. They just if you want to be a data analyst, they tell you, especially startups, they tell you we don't have the money to pay. You understand? Now you're giving services and you're also learning. Okay. I never had these opportunities while I was at your stage. I didn't even know what was volunteering as at then. I didn't. It was when I was already at this way of my career. That is when I decided to start volunteering and giving back to the society, but not to learn and all of that. Okay. So now for certification, this is what you're going to do. Don't go for the higher ones. The certification you're going to go is called the AWS. I just said the name now. Let me just remember again. Yeah. So AWS practitioners. Okay. The AWS practitioner certificate is for entry levels, foundation. But that doesn't mean it makes you a junior. Even seniors, they take the AWS practitioner exam. But it's just like foundation level. You have, just like you have BSc, you have masters, you have PhD. That is what the practitioner is like. Practitioner is like the BSc certificate, then advanced is like the masters, then professional is like the PhD certificates. Okay, so you're going to go for AWS practitioner. And now, which AWS practitioner are you going to choose? You're going to choose the one that is applicable to you, that you know you the career path you want to go for. Okay, so now let's say Ruthie says she wants solution architect. You see this one, the blue ones, those are the associate ones. Don't go for it for now. But if you feel you're confident enough, if you feel you're good to go, you can go for it. I don't like stopping people. You know why? Because you're a beginner doesn't mean you cannot acquire the knowledge to go for this. Yes, it's advisable to start from the practitioner so that at least you know how it feels, you know what the question is like. But if you feel you're confident enough, you can. Okay. But AWS always advise to go for that one too, for additional year first. Now you can see those ones are the professionals, okay? You should have like 5 years and above, I think. Then this one is an AWS training certificates. You have to carry out tasks and build a project on AWS to get this ones. Okay. So now exam preparation, there's something called exam preparation. When you click on this, I don't want to click on it because it's going to take me onto another page and I don't want to keep going front up so that you guys don't get tired of the flipping. So this is your exam preparation. When you click here, there's a free exam preparation and there's a paid one. Okay, some of the exam preparation will tell you to subscribe. I think subscription is like 20 USD or something like that. Okay, why there's a free one as well. So it's up to what you want. Okay, you can see options for taking your exams. You want your exams online or you want your exam in a center, an exam center. Okay, you can see access your AWS certification account. Okay, this is when you already have your certificate, you're going to have an account. Okay, and now if you take your first AWS certification, your subsequent one, you'll be given 50% discount. Okay. Now let me show you how to select the certification you can take based on your career path. So if you want to schedule your exams, you come here and that where it says schedule an exam to schedule your exam, prepare for exam to prepare for your exam. Okay. So now this one is AWS practitioner. This certificate, if you take this for AWS practitioner, this particular one, it means that you understand all the AWS services. Now, this particular one is for general AWS service, and this is the one I will want you to take first before you start niching down to data analysis, AI, DevOps. I would advise you to take this one. This exam, if I click on it now, it's going to take me to another page. Okay, it didn't. Yeah, okay. Lucky us, we didn't. So this particular AWS practitioner, it's like it's an exam that tests your knowledge of what you know about all AWS core services. So it tests your knowledge about what you know on AWS core services. So I would say take this AWS cloud practitioner first because it's vast. It's like testing your knowledge about Lambda, EC2, S3, yada, 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 all of them. Now, before niching down to DevOps, before niching down to cybersecurity and all of that, this one gives you that very good grasp. Okay? This one gives you a very good grasp. Then after you do this one and you pass, you can niche down. Okay, so once you pass this, you want to niche down. Let me show you how to find based on your area of specialty. Okay, so this is the one I advise you can take. Then now, if you say you want to niche down for cybersecurity, for DevOps and all of that, so let me show you how to find out. I don't know why currently it's just so showing here for no prior exams needed. So you can see they said this one, no prior experience needed. Okay, that's to say it's for beginners. But currently I can't see more. I can't see more of the certifications. AWS keeps changing and they keep upgrading. I don't know if just this two is the only one that they have right now. Okay, no problem. So these are the two that is currently here. Because most time they change, they can scrub and bring another set. So currently these are just the two they have for practitioner, because practitioner is more like a foundation level. So maybe they are saying this two foundation level is enough to test your knowledge, then you can go deep on associate level. So associate level, you can see, okay, I think I understand what they did now. So associate level is where you get to niche down. Okay, if you want to be a data engineer, then you can take an associate level to prove your knowledge. If you want to be a solution architect, you can take your associate level to prove your knowledge. If you want to be a machine learning, you can take your associate to prove your knowledge on those aspects. For DevOps as well, Ajoke here, for developers as well. Okay, I understand what they did now. So that is how it is. Okay, so currently they have just two practitioners, and I advise go for this one first. Don't go for AI practitioner. Yeah, you can go for AI practitioner if you want to specialize on AI, but I advise go for the cloud practitioner. This is generalized. It gives you a vast, it proves you have a vast knowledge of AWS cloud. This one. Then after niche, after that you can be into niche down. Okay. Any questions before I move forward? Is there any questions? Any questions before I move forward? Is there any question before I move forward? If there's question, ask your questions. And I just pasted the career paths selection at the comments section. So please, for those that were not here yesterday, we chose the area of specialty where you career paths to say where you would like to carry out your project. Okay, so if you failed yesterday, no need to fail today. For those of you that were not here yesterday, please go ahead to fill. Please note, you only have the opportunity for one response. So before you fill and submit, ensure you're choosing the right one. You can't change. Please, you can't change. Okay, just one response is what is allowed. If you have any problem filling, any challenge while filling it, please let me know. Okay, so while we're filling this, does anyone have a question? So Imabom saying no. Does any other person have a question? Not really a long journey. Not really a long journey anymore. Trust me, Imabom. You guys don't have a long journey anymore. What you need after the boot camp is the drive. The drive. Now, the boot camp is more like, oh, I have to go for a boot camp. I have to, even if no one was forcing you, it's of your own will, but you coming to mark attendance was a way of trying to drag you to the boot camp. But after the boot camp, you are on your own with the determination and the zeal to get it right and the zeal to learn. See, landing a job in tech, not just a job in tech, a job in general, not just a job as well. as in go the drive for where you want to be is not just I have done this and I will rest. No, it's a continuous process. So after the boot camp, what I think you should do is do projects. Post them on LinkedIn. Do you guys ever have LinkedIn? That is what we're going to do on week. What's it called? Next week, section 2. Your LinkedIn, if you have a LinkedIn and you're so serious in getting a job, LinkedIn is one of the places. I don't know, people say they don't get a job on LinkedIn, but almost all the jobs I've gotten is on LinkedIn. And majority of them, recruiters get to reach out to me because I position myself to show them that I can do the job. I didn't just show them that I am looking for a job. I showed them that this is what I can do when I come into your company, AYZ, because I'm already doing it. So you have to optimize your LinkedIn, put projects out there, not just projects where they will tell you to do to-do list. What's that? Do a to-do list, do this. Those are nothing. Those doesn't add up. Recruiters want to see that you know the project. Nobody wants to employ someone that can't do what or can't solve their problem. You and I are being employed to solve a problem. That's just truth. So you have to show them, hey, this problem, this challenge you're going through, I am already solving it. So I am a good person. I am coming in and I'm not coming in to learn. Even if you, when you recruited in any organization, you had to learn their software, their way of doing things, but you're not learning to gain experience. You're learning to know how to improve their platform. Okay? So I'm going to tell you how you position yourself. That is week next week, section 2. Next week, section 1, we will look if you have a LinkedIn. That is what we'll do next week, section 1. Next week, you're starting your final project. So next week, section 1, your last assessment for this bootcamp is this week. Next week, section 1, if you have a LinkedIn and you want us to look at your LinkedIn, you want me to look at your LinkedIn and tell you areas to improve, that is what next week section 1 is about. Next week section 1, that is the career part. We're doing the career, what's it called, LinkedIn optimization and your projects next week. And then the last week of the bootcamp, which is week 8, that is when you've submitted. Week 8 section 2 is your certification. And yes, so next week section 2, if you have a LinkedIn and you will want me to look at your LinkedIn, I will do that. Okay, and tell you areas you need to improve and tell you how to position yourself. Let me tell you, the first technical writing job I got, do you know what I did? I know I wanted to be a technical writer. I will not call the name of the company. I want to be a technical writer for this company. It's a very big company. I know I wanted to be a technical writer for this company. You know what I did? I am already a solution architect. I'm only writing, my technical writing is just like freelance. What I did was I first understand the responsibility of being a technical writer for a company. It is called developers advocate or developers. Some people call it developers advocate. Some company call it developers relationship manager. So this role, what you get to do is company release new services, new software every day. And when they release this software, they want people to understand how to use it. They want you and I to know how to use it. They want to be able to reach their target audience. That is where I come in. I love learning. I can take the worst of the jargon on IT, read them, understand them, break them to a beginner level, and push them out there. So I knew I was good at this. So I decided to make something out of it. So what I did was I searched that company, their what's it called, their solution, what are they selling? They are into AI, yada 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 yada. Okay, fine. Now, what does a developer advocate do? Developer advocates write content about the company and platform, how to get started, to use them. Okay, let's say AWS now. If I'm a developer advocate for AWS, I would understand the AWS solution, the AWS cloud platform, how it works. And now my role is to what? To push AWS out there so that users, developers, company, people that AWS is made for, they will know how to use AWS and adopt AWS. And what did I do? I wrote 10 different get started for different software of their software, and I published it. The fourth or the fifth article I wrote about that company, it hit 10,000 plus read. No jokes. 10,000 plus read. What did I do? I gave a step-to-step guide on how to adopt the solution, how to use the solution, how to download the solution, how to get started, how to use it and get results. And that is how the company saw me. I intentionally, deliberately did it. And when I went for the interview, I told them I am not coming in to learn as a beginner. I am coming in to understand your platform better and push adoption out there. That is how I position myself. I'm not saying you should do the same thing with me, but I position, when I want to get a job, I position myself in a way that the company gets to understand, no, she's coming in to add value, not to learn. Okay, so that is how you position yourself. Position yourself so that the company gets to see your value. Most times they even reach out to you. I'm not joking. Most times they reach out to you. Now, when they reach out to you, it is left for you to pass the interview. Okay, so a digital coach, I hope this answers your question. This is how to position yourself. This is how to position yourself. So now, have we all filled the career path? Have we all filled this? If we've those that were asked sent yesterday, if we've all filled this, please can you click done, done, done? Okay. We've all filled this. If you're in Nigeria, you want to work with MTN, for instance, and let's say you want to be an MTN developer. No, Adaku, don't. Don't. No, don't. Adaku, don't. Okay? You don't know who is watching. I write on Hackanon. Okay? I am Hackanon top writer. As of this week, I am Hackanon number 2 top writer. I published an article that is currently reading 10 or 11,000 plus reads because I didn't stop. Because I didn't stop. It's not going to be easy. Or if it's something you love doing, please continue. You don't know who is watching. No jokes. I'm not joking. You don't know who is watching. I can't show you my LinkedIn message. I would have. But in a week, no jokes. If I don't get a recruiter or somebody in a company that knows me, that is my friend on Connect and LinkedIn reaching out and saying, Emma, there's this position in our company. I think you're going to be a good fit. Trust me, if I don't get, I get 2 every week. If I don't get such messages, I get 2 every week. And why? That is because if you go to my LinkedIn, you don't need to ask what I do. You need to have audacity, man. You don't need to ask what I do. You are going to know I am a solution architect. And not just any solution architect, I am an AWS solution architect. I am a 100% solution architect. So your LinkedIn cannot be filled with different posts on this, nothing to show, to tie you to what you do. As you're looking for jobs, recruiters are looking for the best people to fill that position. As you're looking for jobs, recruiters are looking for the best people to fill that position. Okay? They are looking for the best people to fill that position. So don't think you not putting yourself out there, you're doing someone. No, you're doing yourself. Like there was someone I recently held a what's it called? A mentorship class for. The same thing I'm saying to you, the same thing I said to her. Imagine your CV is out there, your CV is in your house, okay? And you don't get to publish it. And you have this degree, you have that degree. Okay, it's currently 11,000 plus. The article is currently 11,030 reads. So imagine you have a CV and you even went to Harvard University and you have a CV. No one knows about the CV. No one knows about your university. How do they get to know what you do? Okay, so the name of the platform, Adako, it is called Hackathon. Okay, it is called Hackathon. And it's for technical article writers. Okay, and this is my user my my user this is my username. This is my username. Okay, so please put yourself out there. You can't tell me that you're aiming to be a data analyst and I don't even see any dashboard on your LinkedIn. There is no dashboard on your LinkedIn. There is no chart. There is no analysis on your LinkedIn. No way. Don't do that. Okay, so I just posted the attendance. Okay. So please go ahead and fill the attendance. Please go ahead and fill the attendance. Okay. If you have any challenge filling the attendance, let me know. And if you have any question while we're filling the attendance, please put your question in the comment section and I will respond. Where is Roots? Roots, where are you? Roots, where are you? So I have digital coaches. So we have to show our specialty and not yes. You can't generalize, Derry. No, you should be known for something. You should be known for something. If you're a data analyst, I want to see the dashboard, your analysis, your KPIs on your LinkedIn, telling I analyzed this data. This was the problem. It should be like this. This is the problem. A company wants to find a KPI for most sell items in August, let's say. And how did I solve the problem? I cleaned the data using Excel. I queried the data using let's say using Python, or I queried the data using SQL, or I queried the data using Power BI. I visualize using Tableau, or I visualize using Power BI, and this is the result. This is the result. Show that. Show what the data analyst does. Put the project out there. If you don't have a LinkedIn, I advise you should try to have a LinkedIn. I won't lie to you. Do you know? I don't know. No, not majority of you are in Nigeria, but in this part of the world where I am, yeah, there's some form you fill. They don't ask you for your CVs. No jokes. They ask you for your LinkedIn. In this part of the world where I am, there are some job forms, or not even, there are some forms that I feel they don't ask me for my CV, they ask me for my LinkedIn. That is how powerful LinkedIn is. So if you don't have a LinkedIn, I advise you get one. And if your where's Ajoke, is she still here? And if you're going into DevOps, you're going into naughty girl. If you're going into DevOps, okay, and you're going into software development, you want to be a solution architect, try to get GitHub account. In your CV, it's not available. Okay, let me try to do that fast for you guys. So in your what's it called? In your CV, they will ask you to add your LinkedIn. Sorry, your GitHub. When applying for jobs, your GitHub and LinkedIn is to be added there. There is Imabom, it is there. It is written IAM. Can you please choose IAM? Imabom, it is there. It is written IAM. Can you please choose IAM? Please, when filling the attendance, there's IAM there. Can you please choose IAM? It is. I can see it there. It is there. IAM. It is written there. IAM is there. Can you check again and let me know if you can see it? There's IAM there. I could see from the attendance. Please choose that. There is IAM there in the topics. Can you please choose that? Yes, please. Yes, you're right, Obaking. There's IAM there. Please choose IAM. What have you been trying to create? What have you been trying to create? Let me know what you've been trying to create. Is it LinkedIn or is it GitHub? If you don't have a LinkedIn and you want to create one, we're going to create that next week. Just you all should let me know. If you want to create a GitHub, let me know. So if you want to create a LinkedIn, put in the comment section. You don't have a LinkedIn, you want to create one. We're going to create that next week. But please don't just create a LinkedIn and you just leave without posting your project. Okay? Be active on it. No, you can choose IAM, it's fine. Imabom, you can choose IAM, okay? It's fine. Okay. So while you're filling your attendance, next week what we'll be covering it. Next week from section 1, please don't miss the class. If you know anyone that is not here, don't miss the class. That's your final project, except you don't want your certificates, okay? So next week, I will be giving your final project on week 1. You're going to, that is just one project is what you're doing week 1 and week 2. So you have two, sorry, that's just one project is what you're doing, section 1, section 2. So I'm giving you just one project, section 1, section 2. So you have time to do them. No excuse. Okay? So, and if you feel you don't have a LinkedIn and you want to open one, please let me know. Okay? If you feel you don't have a LinkedIn and you want to open one, please let me know. Okay, so we're going to create that next week, okay? So have everyone filled the attendance? Have we all filled the attendance? Have we all filled the attendance? So I'll be leaving now. I want to ensure we've all filled the attendance without any issue. Have we all filled the attendance? Please, if you fill the attendance, can you just drop a yes in the comment section? Please, if you successfully fill the attendance, can you drop a yes in the comment section? Okay. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you next week. Please, when submitting your assessment, your screenshots, try to make it visible, please, so I'll be able to read what is there, and I can grade you based on the mark that you deserve. Okay, please. Okay, thank you, everyone. As always, it was nice having you, and see you next week. Okay, bye.